One of the most asked questions is, what is a good camera for newborn photography? And clearly there is no specific answer for this question. Why is that? Cameras are developing and improving not only year after year, but month after month and quarter after quarter. So it's difficult for me to tell you a specific answer now. And keep in mind, if I give you an answer now and you are watching this video maybe next month, the answer that I'm giving you is not correct anymore. So what is a good criteria in camera to choose for photography newborn? That is the correct question to ask. So what are the good criteria to have in camera to photograph a newborn? I will give you 5 criteria that you have to look for. And if you find these 5 criteria, that means, yes, this camera is good enough for newborn photography. Number 1, the camera should be absolutely to be a professional camera. So what is a professional camera? DSLR or mirrorless cameras are professional cameras. In this camera, you have the ability to change the lens. You can change the lens and put whatever lens you want to move to. So in these cameras, mirrorless or DSLR, you have the ability to choose what lens you want to shoot for. And lenses is another subject to talk about in newborn photography. But now let's concentrate on cameras. If you want me to make another episode talking about lenses, just leave a comment down below and I will do that happily for you. Let's continue talking about the cameras. For the camera that I want to newborn photography, I want it to be high resolution. What does that mean? It means that at least I want this camera to be at resolution of 24 megapixels, at least. Something less than 24 megapixels is not gonna be good enough for newborn photography. If you want to learn more about newborn photography, subscribe to my channel because I will drop a video every day in my channel in newborn photography. And now we move on to the criteria number 2. I want for my newborn photography camera to have an open screen. If I have open screen, I will have the ability to shoot comfortably with my arm extended above the baby or above the setup. Of course, there are a lot of types of screens that open. There is articulating screen, there is 360 screens, and there is flip screens. I prefer for newborn photography the 360 screen because I can use it and rotate it wherever I want and take the shoot from the perfect angle for the setup and the baby. Number 3, I highly prefer my newborn photography camera to have a good autofocus system. Back in the days when I started newborn photography, DSLR cameras were not good enough in autofocusing and detecting the eye of the baby. Nowadays, the new cameras are good enough to detect the eye of the baby and to continue focusing on the eye of the baby during the photo session. And that's saving a lot of time, especially newborns. They sometimes smile, they have a hint of a smile while they are asleep, and having the autofocus is way more faster than the human focusing method that used to be done back in the days in the DSLRs. So the autofocus is so fast that since I changed from DSLR to mirrorless camera, I didn't miss any baby smile. And that is amazing. That is amazing when I have the mother feedback, and when I listen to the mother, how she is happy that she captured this precious image of her newborn smiling. That is amazing. That is amazing. So do yourself a favor. If you are buying a new camera, don't think about DSLRs. Think immediately about mirrorless camera. And now we move on to the criteria number 4. Number 4, I prefer for my newborn photography camera to be lightweight. In newborn photography, 90% of the job during the photo session is dealing with the baby, settling down the baby, wrapping the baby, posing the baby, etc., etc. And these things are taking 90% of the session, and only 10% of the session is about holding your camera and taking this picture. So for 90% of the session, I am exercising. I'm doing heavy exercising, going up and down with the baby. And when you are finished putting the baby down, your muscles are hurting and you don't want to hold on a heavy camera to extend it like this and take the shot above the baby. It hurts the arms so much, so much. With previous DSLRs, they were so heavy weighted, especially with the heavy lenses. So I highly suggest that your newborn photography camera is lightweight. So the one that I'm using now is Sony A7 Mark IV, and the lens I'm using is 24-70 f2.8 G Master 2, and the combination of both is reasonably medium weight, not heavyweight as DSLR and not lightweight as vlogging cameras. It's reasonably medium weight for the high resolution images that I want to come up with. Number 5, and this is the least appreciated criteria when photographers are shopping for professional camera, and that is the camera having 2 slots for memory card. You know, when you are photographing, let's say that you are a wedding photographer and the wedding is one day in a life, right? And let's say, for God's sake, that let's not say that's you. It's not you. It's not you. Someone you know, someone you know who is a photographer. She had a camera and she had one memory card only inside that camera, and she go to make a wedding photo shoot, and that memory card corrupted or anything happened to that memory card. Sometimes accidents happen, and sometimes when you put the memory card inside the laptop or inside your card reader, something happens and all the data are corrupted and you can't have these pictures anymore. So that is a big problem. That's a really big problem, and you don't want this ever to happen to you as a newborn photographer. So as a newborn photographer, you should always shoot with 2 memory cards inside the camera. And the second memory card works as a backup. So everything recorded in the first memory card will be recorded as well in the second memory card.